Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for a bonus edition of Premier League predictions. This is going to be a really quick round because match day 14 is taking place in midweek, as you already know. So I know we normally do a predictions game, but you don't need to do it for this week. I am still going to catch up for the predictions that we did for match day 13 in our match day 15 video that will come out later on this week, maybe on Thursday or Friday. So don't need to do predictions for this one, and but you can still leave them down below if you want. But and if you don't like it, that's hey, don't blame me. I'm just the guy who runs the channel and makes all the rules. So we got a great midweek card. Let's go in it in date order for once, which is very unusual for Very Biased Opinions. And let's start with Newcastle United versus Norwich. And my God, do Newcastle need a win in this game? If they don't win this game, where do they go? Where does the season go from this? Do they already start to turn on Eddie Howe after just a few games? Because if you can't beat Norwich at home, whew, what hope do you have? And it really does feel like a must-win game for Newcastle. Norwich do have that hope after getting 4 points in Dean Smith's first 2 games, so it's not going to be an easy game. And probably for the last time, I'm going to back Eddie Howe's Newcastle side to get a win until they actually do start winning games. Reluctantly, 2-1 Newcastle win. Next up, and the other game on Tuesday, is Leeds versus Crystal Palace. It is a bit of a simmering start, but it does get a bit hotter as the week goes on. But yeah, Leeds really struggling. A lot of players missing. It's much talked about. They're already talking about rifts between Bielsa and Calvin Phillips. I don't think any of that's true. I just think he's having to slot in at centre-back, and it's not a natural position. They're relying a lot on Rafinha to provide them a little bit of magic, and when he doesn't produce the magic, they don't really tend to score a lot of goals. Palace had a rare off day in their game against Villa. They usually play a lot better than that, and I'm sure Vieria is going to give them a big kick up the arse. And I can see them going to Leeds and causing not even really an upset, getting the victory. I did 2-1 in the first game. I'm going to do a 2-1 away win in the second one. 2-1 win for Palace. Moving on to Wednesday now. I promise we've got some good games to come. But the first game on Wednesday is Southampton versus Leicester City. I thought Southampton would get hammered against Liverpool. They absolutely did. Leicester produced a much better result against Watford, getting a 4-2 victory. And you would expect Leicester to carry on that good form. But I don't like backing Leicester. Not really a big fan. So I want Saints to win this game. Let's go for a 1-0 Southampton win. Watford versus Chelsea. Watford basket case. I mean, they've had some great wins under Ranieri. They've had some pretty crappy results under Ranieri. So you don't know what you're going to get from them. So you have to back Chelsea in this one. Look, Chelsea, we just watched them play Manchester United. They should have won the game. In the end, they had to scramble a draw after a horrific mistake by Jorginho, but he did bail them out with the penalty. But I think that Chelsea will get back to winning ways here. They're just too strong. And they've got Lukaku back in up front now, and it still baffles me how Werner can't score goals in this Premier League, but Lukaku in there, he almost certainly will start scoring goals for Chelsea. Not that that's been a massive problem for them. Watford 0, Chelsea back to business with a 2-0 win. West Ham United versus Brighton and Hove Albion. This one is intriguing me because West Ham had a couple of dodgy results now, although this one was against City most recently, so there's always a little caveat with that. But it's back-to-back defeats in the Premier League, so Moyes will be desperately trying to rediscover the form to try and keep them into the top 4 places. Brighton got booed off against Leeds. I don't think it was the majority of the fans, and it was really harsh. But at the end of the day, I think it just boils down to frustration. They create so many chances and they don't finish them off. I mean, France's number 1 striker, Neil Maupay, should have scored a hat-trick. And it's not surprising that Potter was a little bit frustrated at the end, but I still think he's got a shit beard. But his side do play nice football, and this should be a pretty good game. But they're the draw kings, so you've got to back a draw, 1-1. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Burnley. Look, I mean, Burnley's game was snowed off. Wolves could only draw 0-0 with Norwich, so not a great result there. And this one's going to be tight and cagey, but I'm just going to back Wolves to edge it. 1-0 victory to the Wolves. Aston Villa versus Manchester City. 2 wins in a row. for his first 2 games for Steven Gerrard. So obviously the cliche is, how easy is Premier League management? Well, we will see how easy it is when he takes on this Manchester City side. It's a new manager bounce, isn't it? I mean, you've got a guy like Gerrard in there. The players are going to put a hell of a lot of effort in for him. He's going to have instant respect from all of the players. And you've seen that translated on the pitch. And a couple of wins breeds confidence. So they'll fancy their chances. But City just are City, aren't they? Just keep ticking along. 2-1 win against West Ham. It was just how many goals do you fancy this week, Man City? And Aston Villa will probably cause them some problems on the counter-attack, but you're a fool to back against Pep's side, and I'm not going to. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 Manchester City victory, although probably you'll have a Gerrard factor and you'll probably end up with Villa win. But my prediction is 2-0 Man City. Final game on Wednesday is the Merseyside Derby, and it's almost been forgotten about in this midweek fixtures, mainly because it looked such a one-sided game. Liverpool look all singing, all dancing. They look in amazing form, just smashing teams in the Champions League, smashing teams in the Premier League. This front 3 is amazing, and Jota's made them even better. They look formidable, and Everton look terrible. They watched them in their game today, where they lost 1-0 to Brentford. I know they missed the backup to the main players, and I know it's unfortunate they do have a lot of their main players out, but it just doesn't look good enough, and they don't look like scoring goals. They look very easy to play against, and Liverpool, I just can't see anything other than a field day for Liverpool, although Everton will obviously put a lot of effort into the game. 3-0 Liverpool? On to Thursday's games now. 2 games left. Tottenham Hotspur versus Brentford. Spurs are still looking to react after that nightmare of a Europa League performance where they lost to Slovenian minnows. I can't even remember name. Insert name there. And Brentford got a 1-0 win, a much needed win, and it moved them. I think they're on like 16 points, which is still an incredible return. Doing very well in the Premier League after such a good start. They only just need to just keep ticking along and picking up those odd points, and they should be absolutely fine. They still look bloody dangerous with the pace they've got in the side. And great to see Shandon Baptiste get on the pitch. Oxford United player there. And it'll be interesting to see what Conte gets out of his Spurs side. They were chalk and cheese against Leeds. Crap in the first half and then ran the legs off them in the second half. So you expect a reaction. 2-1 Tottenham. Ooh, pains me. And finally, in the midweek games, very, very intriguing game to finish. Manchester United versus Arsenal. It could be Thor Ragnarok's first game in charge for Manchester United. I think that's what his name is. After caretaker Michael Carrick got a creditable 1-1 draw against Chelsea. But how they got it, I don't really know. But Man United needed something and they got something. And they will fancy their chances playing against Arsenal, but Arsenal will fancy their chances too. Other than the game against Liverpool, which was which was just a step too much for them, but they bounced back against Newcastle with a very good 2-0 win. They will go to Manchester United with no fear whatsoever, and they will definitely feel they can win the game. I just don't know if they will. I want them to. I just don't know if they will. I'm going to be back in the Gunners, but something I just think Man United is just going to be a little bit too strong for them. I think Arsenal just going to be a little bit too open. And I can just see the Ronaldo, I just picture it in my mind that he's going to score a winner in this game of so much pain he's caused Arsenal down the years. So too early to see what the new manager will do. I know he's all about Gegen pressing, but that will come over time. I still just think they're going to nick it against his Arsenal side. But I am going to back the Gooners because I'm a sucker for them. So Man United 1, Arsenal 3. What a way that will be to end the midweek games. And that will do it as a very quick speed round of Very Biased Opinions. Maybe you preferred it. If you prefer the videos like this, hit like button and let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll scale everything down and make it a lot quicker, but who knows. And so hit the like button, hit subscribe, all that usual jazz. If you could hit the notify bell as well, because I know a lot of people do not get notified when I put videos out, and it is frustrating. But generally, Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.